Shankara Parvati Pati Mahadev Sri Shankara.
Namaste, it's Sahara Rose, and welcome back to the Highest Self podcast, a place where we discuss what makes you your soul's highest evolvement. I am so excited to be sharing with you that I am launching a brand new masterclass, the Abundance Mindset Masterclass. This is all about understanding how your dosha will allow you to transform your relationship with money, because each dosha has their own unique blocks that they are holding before them that is blocking the abundance from coming through. So when we unravel and decode those blocks, then finally we can live our most fruitful and abundant lives. So if you want to stop stressing about money and finances and stop saying no to the things that you want and the foods that you want to get and the experiences you want to have, because money is the thing that is holding you back, I don't want that for you. And we talk about this on today's episode, how what is meant to be will not necessarily happen. You know, money's not going to show up at your door. You have to do the work to get there. And the work does not mean you are just working. The work is to unlearn, to decode, to let go of your conditioning that you were brought up with, which we talk about on the masterclass. So much of us, we grew up saying, money doesn't buy happiness, money doesn't grow on trees, more money, more problems. The list goes on. And these very beliefs, though we aren't even consciously thinking about them, are exactly what is holding us back from living our most abundant lives. And we don't even know, because we're replaying these stories that are untrue, that are based in fear, that no longer apply. So if you want to live a life where you can wake up and choose your schedule, where you can find a charity or cause that speaks to your heart and write a check to them and not have to worry about how it's going to affect your life that month. If you want to be able to travel and stay at a beautiful hotel, if you want to be able to give that generous waiter an extra 30% tip and not worry about it later on, if you want to buy the books that you want to buy, sign up for the courses you want to sign up for, fully experience this human potential and all the joys and experiences that life on this planet has to offer, then you have to change your relationship with money. There's no way. The more you try to suppress, oh, I want nothing to do with money. Oh, whatever. I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to meditate on money. It's going to show up at my door. Trust me, it's not going to happen. And, you know, some of the information out there about manifesting money has been really dangerous to say, oh, well, if you just spend a lot of money, then the universe is going to see how abundant you are and money's going to show up at your door. No, that's a really good way of racking up debt. That's actually what debt is. If overspending created wealth, then there would be no problem, no credit card surplus in this country. So that is not the key to securing abundance. It is changing your mindset around it. It's different for everyone, and it's very dependent on your dosha. So we're going to unlock that. I'm really excited to have this masterclass for you, because there's also going to be a live webinar with me where I'll be answering your questions. And I'm also going to be introducing you to two of my mentors. These are people who've created programs for people like Tony Robbins, big time masterclasses, people like T. Harv Eker. And they're going to be sharing with us how to do things like create an online business, create a funnel, what is marketing, how to go past your blocks. We're going to be launching a 6-week program as well that's going to be coming after the Money Mindset Masterclass. So you got to sign up for the masterclass, because you need to know the basics to move on to the more advanced level. And I've priced it at only $35, the price of a fancy yoga class here in LA. So there's nothing to hold you back. Everyone can afford $35 if they really try hard enough. And if you really care about shifting your life, you will make it happen. Because again, what is meant to be, which I talk about, will not necessarily happen. You can't leave it up in the air and think it's going to manifest. You have to pay attention and move towards it. What you pay attention to will expand. So if you start paying attention to your money will expand. These are the laws of the universe. If you ignore it, you pretend it's not there, you don't look at your credit card bills, That's a really good way of getting like tons of subscriptions that you don't even know signed up for, people stealing money from you. And again, the universe says, well, she obviously doesn't care about money because she's not paying any attention to it. So we need to pay attention to the things that we want to expand. And this is why it is so important to invest in our knowledge around business, money, abundance. I would not be here if it wasn't for the investments that I have done in the past. And it has brought me to such far and amazing places. So I'm so excited to have this masterclass for you. to share this wisdom that has radically transformed my life. For me, health was the first thing I needed to shift, then finding my dharma, my purpose, and then it was creating a livelihood that served me, that allowed me to live a life where I had beautiful things and could live by myself in Los Angeles and support charities and causes and not have to worry about it. What a weight that has lifted off my shoulders. It is such a blessing, and I'm so honored to share this wisdom with you. So head over to my show notes, head over to my website, and sign up for the Abundance Mindset Masterclass. We're going to be doing the live webinar beginning of November, so sign up before then. If you're listening to this after November, we're going to be launching it again in January, so sign up so you'll be notified when the live program starts again. Limited spots only, and I know it's going to totally blast open that third eye of yours. So without further ado, let's welcome me at another time when I am speaking about how what is meant to be will not necessarily happen. I was just flipping through Instagram and I saw this post. And the post said a quote that you've probably heard before. What is meant for you shall not pass you. Now, normally in the past, I would have looked at this quote and liked it and moved on and gone on with thinking that the things that are meant to be will definitely happen. And since then, I've learned better. I've learned that what is meant for you can totally pass you. It can come up to you. It will show you its face, but that doesn't mean it will sit there waiting for when you think you're ready. You see, a lot of us, especially in the spiritual community, we think, oh, well, if it's meant to be, it will happen. And that gives us permission to sit back and let life happen for us rather than taking action to creating life for us. So it's like if you were ever in a relationship and you guys chose to break up and then you ended it by saying, you know what, if it's meant to be, we're going to get back together and let's just leave it up for the universe and see what happens, and what's meant to be will occur. What ends up happening? You don't get back together, you move on, you move in separate directions in your life. And that's not a bad thing. That's just the way that things were meant to happen because you didn't make being together your priority. You know, whatever we put as our priority is what will happen because life presents us with many options. We are given countless possibilities at any point in time. There are so many different directions that you can take. So it is naive, it is spiritual bypassing to say what is meant to be will happen, because if your intention is not there, it's never going to happen. So I think it's time that we take radical responsibility to really going after the things that we want. And knowing that, you know, a book deal is not going to land in your lap without you doing the work. You're not going to secure clients without the preparation. Your dream house is not going to suddenly be for free and gifted to you. You're going to have to purchase it. So I think we need to obviously appreciate the quotes, but not take them all so to heart verbatim without really understanding the context around it. You know, what is meant to be will happen, I guess, in a very broad scheme of things. Like if you're meant to die, you'll die. If you're meant to live, you'll live for sure. We don't really know how much of our reality is destiny and how much is not. But we can't deny free will, and that free will is the leading factor of the way that your life is going to be going. And I'm someone who has worked with so many channels and tried to speak with soul entities and this and that, all the spiritual stuff. And really all it comes down to is it's up to you, babe. You can do whatever you want, and the universe will or will not support you in that, but it's up to you at the end of the day. And wherever your energy goes, that's where your focus flows, and that's what manifests. So really, it's not just the law of attraction, but it's the law of intention. And this is something I want to do a whole other separate podcast with. But You don't just, think about things or even put them in the back of your mind and then, the universe may just have it all work out for you. You need to have a clear set intention that is the direction you want to be going to, and then doing the action steps to get there. You're not going to end up at the top of the mountain without taking the hike. And I think so many of us, the reason why we don't end up successful, we don't end up living the lives that we dreamed of, we end up playing small, we end up stuck in circles, is because we say, well, what is meant to be will happen, without realizing that we are the factor that will make that thing happen. No one created a business without all of the steps that it took to get there. No one put together a cookbook without the countless times that they made their recipes. No one performed at the Grammys without hustling and singing and being rejected and going through that whole entire process. We could say it was meant to be for that person to be a singer. It was meant to be for that person to be an author, but they also said yes to that calling and did the work to get there. And let's not deny that. So yes, what is meant to be may happen, but the real factor in that is if you choose to make it happen. So I just want you to think about that. Think about the things in your life that maybe you are sort of putting on the back burner because you have this kind of unexpected desire for it to suddenly show up, and you're kind of waiting for it to end up in front of you without you having to do the work because you feel like if you put too much focus on that thing, it's not going to happen. I see this happening with relationships. I see people say, I'm going to just wait around and that perfect guy is going to just show up when it's time. Yeah, that may happen, but if you're sitting at home, unless he's a creep and comes through your window, I don't really know how you're going to meet this guy. If you're going to the same 3 places you always hang out, unless he just moved to the city, moved to that neighborhood and decides to hang out there, you're not going to meet him. It takes that action. It takes that intention. It takes saying, yes, I'm waiting for a man in my life and this is what I'm looking for. Before I met my boyfriend, I drew a picture of who this guy is. What does he look like? What's his age? What's his ethnicity? What do we do for fun? I wrote everything out around him. I gave options, but I was like, universe, God, Mama Gaia, whoever it is out there, this is what I'm looking for. And I'm not going to waste my time with anyone that is not this person. And I don't care if I'm 75 years old, but all I want is this person, my person. And when I really set that intention, first of all, I didn't waste my time with someone that didn't exactly fit those standards because I knew what I wanted. But also, I was sending out this very clear message to the universe that within 1 month I met him and we're still together 3 years later. The same thing with my career. I said what I wanted. I said from the beginning, I want to be a spiritual author and teacher. And of course, I had never met one before. I'm like, I want to be like a young Deepak Chopra. Never met him before. And look, and it's happening. Why is it happening? Because I worked really hard to get there and I set that intention. But if I just sat back and said, if it's meant to be, it'll all just manifest. I'm just going to, pray for it. And suddenly this book's going to magically write itself and this guy's going to show up and the money's going to show up in my bank account. And I'm going to wake up living in California and everything's going to work out perfect because I thought about it once, but I'm not going to think about it too much because, I might jinx it. No, this is literally crazy talk. And I can't believe that this is the way that conscious people are taught to think, because this is a really great way to keep us playing small, to keep us on the periphery, because the people who are actually out there chasing their dreams are the ones who are going to manifest them. And that's why we see so many people that were like, I could have done that. I know so much more about that subject than they do. Oh, I easily could have been that person who talks about conscious parenting, talks about raw nutrition, talks about whatever it is, But why didn't you do it? that's the thing. You can't blame that person and say, oh, well, they don't actually know as much as I do, because they went out there and did that thing. And that takes a lot of courage. And courage is something that we all have. Courage is not something that some people are born with and some are not. Courage is something that we gain from taking action and seeing results. You know, I see so many people saying, oh, I need to build confidence, as if confidence is something that you can chant into effect. Confidence is something that's built when you take action and trust yourself and you see tangible results. You see yourself moving forward, and that builds confidence, that builds trust, that creates this motion. But it doesn't happen if you just sit waiting for the confidence to appear, waiting for the energy to appear. All of these things have to be created. So with this, I really want you to look at everything in your life in a different way and see, what are the things I'm actually putting my energy towards? Are these things bringing me towards my highest path? Is the way I'm spending my time in correlation with what I really want to be doing and how I want to be serving and showing up? Or is there a massive discrepancy? Is my ultimate dream something that I think about before I go to sleep, but the hours that I'm awake, I don't even do anything related to? And if that's the case, that's what needs to change. You need to be working on your dream at least 4 hours a day. And if you're saying, I already have a 9 to 5, I don't have time, honey, we all can find time. Because time is correlated with value. And if you value something, you will find the time for it. So if you say, I don't have time to do the things that I want, I don't have time to achieve my dreams, then you're not valuing your dreams enough and you're not valuing yourself enough. Because the productivity that you give your boss is not more important than the productivity that you give towards yourself, going towards your own dreams, chasing your own vision. So please don't lose sight of what matters. Don't expect the universe to one day just unfold, and there you go. It's your dream car, your dream man, your dream everything, and you didn't even have to do anything. No. What is meant to be will show its face, but you are the one that has to make it happen. I hope you enjoyed that episode. And if you want to make your abundance happen, please join me on the Abundance Mindset Masterclass. It is going to teach you how to break past any limiting money beliefs that you may not even know you have and are holding you back from living a fruitful life, doing what you love, living a life of freedom, pleasure, joy, and impact. Because you can have it all. You really can, but you have to make it a priority. You have to educate yourself and you have to take action. So head over to the show notes, head over to my website, IamSaharaRose.com, and come join me on the Abundance Mindset Masterclass. Again, we're going to be going live beginning of November and doing it again in January. So sign up either way, and I can't wait to meet you there. Namaste.